Hey everyone! Welcome to week 2 of our 3-week series where we're talking about your New Year's resolutions and how to avoid failing them so you can crush it in 2018. Now, before we get started, I want you to make sure you've got your materials out where you went through all of the work from last week. You're going to need that. Last week, the first step was to create your vision, that crystal clear picture of where you see yourself by the end of the year. What does that look like? What does that feel like? Putting all of those details onto paper. Once you had that vision, step number 2 was to create realistic and specific goals. Now, I encouraged you to have at least 3 goals in multiple areas of your life. And kudos to anyone who did more than 3. That means you are taking this seriously. So now that you've got those goals, plus your bonus breakthrough goal, that one goal that seems so scary, you probably didn't tell anyone about it, but you know it's that breakthrough. If you hit it, it is going to be an amazing year this year. With all of that in front of you, take just a moment to look at it. Just kind of absorb it for a minute. You don't have to read all the details, just absorb it. Now, how does that make you feel? Some of you might be thinking, yes, this is awesome. I've got all of my goals written down. I've never done that before. This is going to be my best year yet. Others of you might be looking at your goals thinking, oh my gosh, this is insane. This is too much. How am I going to do this? Colleen must be crazy having me write this down. And you're feeling overwhelmed. You are not alone. This is where a lot of people get stuck because they feel overwhelmed. And when they're overwhelmed, they have some choices to make. It could be, I don't have time for this, and they ditch it altogether, and they never even get started. Others think, okay, well, I have all year to hit this, and they procrastinate and just sit around and don't do anything, and then all of a sudden it's December again, and they haven't hit their goals. I want to get you out of those options and actually put you in action. That's going to take us to step number 3, where we're not going to just sit around and think about those goals, but we're going to get into action so we can attain them. Now, the overwhelmed feeling is because it's this big picture, this big kind of project, if you will. So I'll put my business hat on for a moment. Organizations all the time have big projects. It might be a revenue goal they need to hit by the end of the year. It could be a product they need to launch by the end of the year, or they're building a giant conference center. Those organizations know they can't just sit around and miraculously that big project is going to get done. Instead, they create a work back schedule. They think about the end result and then work backwards. What are all of the many steps along the way that need to happen in order to reach that goal? And that's exactly what you're going to do now. You're going to look at each one of your individual goals and create mini goals. And that mini goal is going to be for the month. So what are the mini goals you need to achieve each month in order to get to that end result? So using weight loss as an example, if your goal is to lose 50 pounds by the end of the year, you know it's crazy to think you're going to lose all 50 pounds in the last month or 2. More realistic is to lose 4 or 5 pounds each month. So those would be your mini goals that you would write down along the way. Now, I realize this is going to take more than just a couple of minutes, but it's worth it. So I want you to put me on pause and take as much time as you need to create monthly mini goals for each of your big goals. Kind of write out that action plan. Pause me now. Okay, so now that you have your mini goals, we're going to break it down even further. We're going to take this big giant puzzle, break it into its pieces, and break it down even further so that it doesn't even feel like a month that you have to wait. Instead, we're going to chunk it into day action items. So for tomorrow, Today, I want you to write down what are the 3 action items you're going to do tomorrow toward each of those mini goals. Just 3. And now, to clarify, these 3 don't have to be some big projects. If weight loss is one of the goals, you know that you need to have an exercise and nutrition plan. So one of your action items tomorrow might be to call a friend that you know has been successful and loves their nutrition plan and just reach out and say, hey, can I get a copy of that? What do you love about it? Very simple action items. Write them down. Now, the key is that when you have those action items, you're going to complete those each and every day. You need to be consistent. Consistency is the key. We can't sit here in January, write down this beautiful action plan with all of these beautiful mini goals, and then not work on it every single day. It's hard to get started. I know that. But once you get moving and get into that motion, it's going to feel so much easier. Now, with consistency could be part of that help, that support you need. So if you aren't already subscribed to my free weekly newsletter, you can email me, go to Facebook, comment below. You can even join our monthly program where we have enhanced content and even more accountability so that you stay consistent each and every day. If that doesn't work for you, make sure you have some resource to keep you consistent. So each day you're going to take 5 minutes, 20 minutes, however long it takes, it should just take a few minutes, to write down what are your 3 action items that you're going to do the next day to work on each of those mini goals. All right, so now that you have that, we're going to move on to step number 4. When we think about a reason why people don't hit their resolutions, it's because they fall in love with the end result, but they don't love the process. So you are going to need to fall in love with the process. Easier said than done, I know. It's going to be a little bit of trial and error. So on the weight loss, if the process is going to be, I need to exercise and eat right. So I need to fall in love with that process, those programs. Did I find the right exercise program? Okay, if that didn't work for me, let's go try something else. Ask a friend, get a referral. If that eating plan didn't fit with my lifestyle, let's go try something else. There's tons of success stories out there for every single success area in life. Don't think by trying one thing and it didn't work for you that it's a failure. Go try something new. It's the process. When you get into action and love the process, that's when you're going to attain those goals. Once you've got that process down in place, then you're going to be ready to move on to steps 5 and 6, which I will send you next week. Until then, let me know if you have any questions, comment below, share your successes that you've had already. I get excited to hear all of that. Until then, I'm here to help you live a happy, healthy, and balanced life. Until next time.